Yo, champs in the making, Starmeistr here. Welcome to the first ever attempt of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Hardcore Nuzlocke. Except that the games won't be released until later this year. Obviously, I'm not a time traveler, so let's instead play Pokemon FireRed using Pokemon that are colored Scarlet or Violet. To identify our eligible encounters, I went through Bulbapedia and checked which Pokemon are classified in the red or purple color group, and those Pokemon are the only ones that I'm allowed to use. Turns out we've got 19 possible encounters, which is pretty big compared to our usual number. As usual, the complete rules for this Nuzlocke are found in the description below, but to summarize, the Nuzlocke should be played on set mode, no items in battle, and no overleveling past the highest leveled Pokemon of the gym leader or Elite Four member. In addition to that, I increased the level of difficulty by lowering the level cap for every couple of gyms. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and if you do, consider giving this video a thumbs up, it helps out a lot. And since I wish not to prolong your agony, let's begin our Pokemon FireRed Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Pokemon that are colored Scarlet or Violet. I named myself Scarlet and my rival Violet, just like in the original Red and Blue games. Soon after, Professor Oak scolds us for being irresponsible. So he was like, "You're mature enough to have a Pokemon, now fill up my Pokedex." And since today is April Fool's, we make the foolish decision of choosing Charmander for my starter, and I named him Tomato. He's got the plus attack minus speed brave nature and the blaze ability. But it turns out that it's not that foolish of a choice since Violet Squirtle easily went down to our scratches. As soon as I entered the Pokemart, the clerk randomly asked us to deliver some parcel to Professor Oak. Do you guys know what's inside the parcel? Well, I know, it's a Pichu Bros merchandise. Luap and I sell Pichu Bros shirts, hoodies, and mugs, and we'd really appreciate it if you could purchase one. The link is in the description below. Special thanks to Elio for this amazing design. Go follow her on Twitter right now, she's a top tier artist. So, after getting our hands on some Pokeballs, we headed on to Route 1 and caught our second encounter, a Rattata, who I named Grape. Viridian Forest was a breeze, thanks to Tomato, but the first gym is a totally different story. You see, both Tomato and Grape have a disadvantage against rock types. And even if Tomato's got Metal Claw, their physical defenses are towering high. So, with only Hope by my side, I challenged Brock and sent in Tomato against Geodude. Ember did about a fourth of their health as their first tackle luckily missed. We hit them with another Ember, but this time their tackle managed to hit. Next turn, they just used Defense Curl, so 2 more Embers were enough to burn them to the ground. Finally was his Onix. I switched to Grape in order to absorb their first tackle. Next turn, we used Tail Whip to lower their defenses as they tried hitting us with Rock Tomb. Weirdly enough, Onix went for Tackle and Bind instead of their Stab Rock Tomb, so we managed to inflict 4 Tail Whips on them. After the 4th Tail Whip, I decided that it's now time to attack, so I called for Hyper Fang, which did about a third of their health. At this point, we're binded, so we couldn't escape at all, so it was inevitable that Grape had to go down in this fight. I wonder why I didn't use Quick Attack instead though. But anyways, I finally set in Tomato. They did outspeed and crit us with Bind, but a single Metal Claw easily demolished the giant rock snake. The battle against Brock allowed Tomato to level up to 16, which means he's now gonna transform into the powerful Charmeleon. Venturing east, we got our next encounter, one of the best Pokemon to use in a Kanto playthrough, a male Nidoran. I named him Heliotrope, and he's got the careful nature and the Poison Point ability. We also have another encounter here at Mount Moon, everyone's favorite cave encounter, Zubat, who I named Rebecca. And she's got the quiet nature and the inner focus ability. Before exiting Mount Moon, I first evolved Heliotrope into Nidorino and all the way into Nidoking using the Moonstone that we picked up along the way. We also got an intimidating Ekans on Route 4. I named him Orchid and he's got the docile nature and of course the Intimidate ability. Next, we took out some minor inconvenience on Nugget Bridge and then caught another encounter, an Oddish who I named Rosewood. And he's got the Timid nature and the Chlorophyll ability. I immediately evolved the Rosewood into Gloom, just in time for the Misty fight. And it's kinda weird that Oddish and Gloom were classified in the blue color group, but Vileplume is in the red color group. Maybe because its red petals are now larger than its blue body? I don't know. But anyways, Misty was much easier this time around since we've got a grass type in our arsenal. Staryu foolishly went for a Harden on the first turn, but Absorb managed to deal about 2/3 of their health. They then tried to confuse us with Water Pulse, which didn't work, which means Staryu was down. Misty then calls her one true beloved ace, Starmie. Their Swifts were so pathetic that Absorb just brought most of our health back. We managed to let them use their Super Potion, but they just couldn't damage us. So, a few more Absorbs were all that's needed to take down the best Pokemon in the world. Upon exiting Cerulean City, we stole this stolen Dig TM from Team Rocket, and in the SSN, Orchid evolved into Arbok. Also in SSN, Violet almost led to our second death of this run, but we did manage to get through the battle with my entire team intact. Lieutenant Surge was our next opponent, and for this and the Erika battles, the level caps were reduced by 1. He sent out Voltorb against my Tomato. They then went for a bunch of Sonic Booms, which will take 3 turns to kill, but our Ember will only take 2 turns to kill, so we're the ones who landed the finishing blow first. Second was Pikachu, so I switched to Rosewood, who resists electric attacks. They then went for a couple of double teams as our Sweet Scent missed. But after their third double team, we managed to land 3 Absorbs in a row and also got Surge to waste his Super Potion. Shockwave did only like 4 to 5 HP, so we missed 3 more Absorbs and landed 2 more, killing the Pikachu and summoning his ace, Raichu. And seeing both Pikachu and Raichu on Surge's team makes me a little sad that Voltorb was here instead of Pichu to complete the family. Oh, and speaking of Pichu, join our Pichu Bros Discord server. Nuzlocke stories, Anipoke discussions, showdown tournaments is the funnest place to share our love for Pokemon. Come and join us, the link is in the description below. Okay, back to the battle. Surge sent in his Raichu, so of course I switched to Heliotrope. They hit us with Quick Attack, which procs our Poison Point ability as we went for Dig. Surge just used a full heal, so Dig was an easy one-shot, winning us our 3rd badge. Battling Surge inspired me to also catch an electric Pokemon, so I got a Voltorb who I named Cardinal. And it's got the speed-lowering quiet nature and the soundproof ability. I got a little lazy to get the Flash TM back on Route 2, so I just went inside the rock tunnel blind. The cave was a breeze to get through, so now we're at Celadon City, where I climbed through the stairs and stole this Eevee. I named her Burgundy, and she's got the Adamant nature, which you might think is the ideal nature for a Flareon, except that all Fire-type moves in this generation are special, so Adamant nature does have its drawbacks. Now that we're here at Celadon City, it's time we go shopping! So I bought a Firestone, a Water Stone, and a Leaf Stone, and for 2,100 Pokédollars, they're super worth it. You know what else is super worth buying? Anyways, I evolved Burgundy into the most beloved and most respected evolution, and then decided to challenge Erika. I taught the TM Flamethrower to Tomato, and Victreebel dead, Tangela dead. Vileplume survived and paralyzed us with Stun Spore. So after they healed, we switched to Rebecca, who evaded the Stun Spore and killed the Vileplume with a couple of wing attacks. In the Rocket Game Corner, Giovanni's Pokemon all dropped like flies, so we finally got our hands on the Silph Scope and defeated Violet again in the Lavender Tower. Also in Lavender Tower resided our next encounter, this Ghastly, who I named Wisteria. She's got the special attack lowering Impish nature and the Levitate ability. We also killed an already dead Marowak and cleared Team Rocket off the building. So as a reward, Mr. Fuji gave us the Pokeflute, giving us access to basically half of the map. While battling trainers in the fishing routes, Cardinal evolved into the fastest Pokemon of Generation 1. We also got the Super Rod from this man, and fished our next encounter, a Shelder who I named Eminence. He's got the Bashful nature and the ever-amazing Shell Armor ability. So here we are in Cycling Road, and I happen to have battled this random biker. And I didn't really notice that this muck used Screech on us, so I just kept on attacking and attacking and attacking and... Well, that sucks, but at least I won't have to rely on Charizard for the future of this run. Makes things a little more interesting having Flareon as my go-to fire Pokemon. We then added a few more encounters to our team in the form of Amethyst the Venonat and Amaranth the Parasect. I was only waiting for Rosewood to learn Moonlight as a Gloom, not that I ever used that move in this run. But after learning it, I evolved him into Vileplume. I figured it was also the perfect time to evolve Eminence into Cloyster, and now I'm loving the looks of my team. In Silph Co, Violet had the audacity to battle us when we're in the middle of a world crisis? Like, bro, here I am trying to save the world and here you are doing nothing and attempting to weaken all of my Pokemon? Makes me question who really is a true villain of the game. Anyways, it's time to finally end this mess, that is, Team Rocket. With Eminence by my side, Nidorino dead, Rhyhorn dead, Nidoqueen dead. Kangaskhan though was a major problem. I tried switching to Heliotrope, but they instantly crit their fake out. So I pivoted Rosewood and absorbed their rage as we put them to sleep with Sleep Powder. We then switched to Cardinal and hit them with a couple of Screeches before bringing us down to an uncomfortable amount of health. At this point, I knew that a double kick from Heliotrope can kill from here, but I couldn't just switch in straight, so I had to sacrifice someone. And that someone had to be Rebecca. But they just used Tail Whip twice in a row, which means that my sacrificial lamb ended up saving the battle and the Kanto region as a whole. Now, Sabrina and Koga's level cap are reduced by 2, but I had to be more underleveled for the Sabrina fight because she and Koga share the same level cap. So, Burgundy the Flareon has an awesome special defense stat, which is ideal against a psychic expert like Sabrina. In addition, she has a massive attack stat, and coupled with Shadow Ball, which is physical in this game, Kadabra dead. Mr. Mime survived because of Barrier, plus the Reflect that Kadabra set up earlier. So I wasted a few more turns with Quick Attack before killing them with Shadow Ball. Now that Reflect is gone, Venomoth dead, Alakazam dead. Before battling Koga, I evolved Wisteria into Haunter and I disallowed myself to trade, so she stays as a Haunter. Now, all of Koga's Pokemon only have normal type attacks, which Wisteria is immune to, and poison type attacks, which Wisteria is quad resistant to. Like, I definitely recommend using a Haunter against Koga. This battle was basically Coughing 1, dead, Muk, dead, Coughing 2, dead, Wheezing, dead. Now that our business in Eastern Kanto is done, it is time to go back west, and in Cinnabar Mansion, I encountered a level 32 Wheezing. And Bulbapedia says that this thing knows self-destruct, and I even forgot that I had Wisteria in my party who can absorb it, but I just got scared and ran away. Anyways, Old Man Blaine was next. And even if Eminence doesn't resist fire-type attacks and is super frail on the special side, I've got a simple yet effective strategy for this battle. First turn, I set up a Rain Dance, weakening Growlithe's Fire Blast. And with Rain-boosted Surf, Growlithe dead, Ponyta dead, Rapidash dead, Arcanine dead. I basically applied a similar strategy against Giovanni. First, I wiped both of his Rhyhorns with Surf so we won't get crippled by their scary face. When Nidoqueen came in, we just tanked their attacks and then used Rain Dance. The rest is history. Nidoqueen dead, Nidoking dead, Dugtrio dead. Not even the -3 level cap was enough to make these two gym leaders harder. The battle with Violet before the league was uneventful as usual, but things will for sure be different later on. So, after some pretty intense planning and preparation, this was a team of Scarlet and Violet Pokemon that I brought with me to take down the Kanto League. Cardinal the Electrode with a move pool of Thunderbolt, Light Screen, Screech, and Explosion. Heliotrope the Nidoking with a move pool of Earthquake, Brick Break, Ice Beam, and Strength. Eminence the Cloyster with a move full of Surf, Ice Beam, Withdraw, and Rain Dance. Rosewood the Vileplume with a move full of Petal Dance, Acid, Sleep Powder, and Moonlight. Wisteria the Haunter with a move full of Psychic, Shadow Ball, Giga Drain, and Destiny Bond. And finally, Burgundy the Flareon with a move full of Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, Growl, and Quick Attack. The level cap is now -4, so I expected this battle to be a little tougher. First was Lorelei, and she's usually the hardest one among the Elite Four, despite being the first. I sent in Cardinal against Dugong. Thunderbolt almost killed them, but they just basically gave up and went for Safeguard. This got Lorelei to waste her full restore, so a couple more Thunderbolts later, and Dugong dead. Cloyster is obviously super frail, so despite extending her inevitable death, she's still dead. Slowbro was third, and like Dugong, we almost killed her, and she just went for a useless move. So the next Thunderbolt finished the job. Fourth was Lapras, whom I thought was gonna be the biggest threat of the team. Thunderbolt brought them to about half health after Citrus Berry, and Ice Beam did a little more than a fourth of our health. We weren't worried of a freeze since we carry a Long Berry, so the next Thunderbolt was enough for the kill. Last was a Jinx, so I immediately switched to Burgundy, but they put us to sleep with Lovely Kiss. We woke up with Chesto Berry, but in the next turn they went for Ice Beam, which froze. I tried attacking and attacking until they brought us to less than half health, but Burgundy never thawed. So I switched to Eminence. First we used Surf, which did less than half health. Then they used Attract, immobilizing us in the process. We then went for Rain Dance to boost our Surf, because using Surf now might bring them to healing range, but they put us to sleep with Lovely Kiss. It took us a bunch of sleeping turns until Eminence finally woke up and killed the Jinx with a rain-boosted Surf, now that we needed the crit. Second was Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
With his fighting types and some rocks. Leading with Wisteria, I immediately OHKO'd the Onix with Giga Drain. Second was Hitmonchan, so I first went for Giga Drain to not bring them to healing range. But in reality, I misclicked. They did, however, manage to reduce our speed with Rock Tomb, but we were still faster and finished them off with Psychic. The second Onix was next, and obviously died to Giga Drain as well. Machamp survived a couple of Psychics thanks to Citrus Berry, but after Bruno tried to heal, we just killed them with 2 more Psychics. Finally was the Hitmonlee. They outsped us though, so they managed to remove our immunity to fighting a normal with Foresight. Psychic brought them to the red, so on the next turn they healed, and I switched to Heliotrope. And well, Heliotrope just to OHKO them with Earthquake. Third was Agatha with her Ghost types, or Poison types? I sent in Burgundy against Gengar. On the first turn, they instantly hit us with Confuse Ray, but we immediately cured it with Person Berry, so a single Shadow Ball just OHKO'd them. Next was Golbat, so I switched to Eminence who got hit by Confuse Ray. We hit ourselves with Confusion to Wise, but third time's a charm as Ice Beam froze them to death. Arbok was third, so now I pivoted to Heliotrope, and with Earthquake of course, Arbok dead. Fourth was Hunter. We tried using Ice Beam, which didn't do much, allowing them to inflict us with Hypnosis. So now I can safely switch into Cardinal for the incoming Dream Eater and KO'd it with Thunderbolt. Last was the second Gengar, and our Thunderbolt crit, which almost killed them. They also managed to poison us with Sludge Bomb, but we were carrying Lomberry for a reason. Agatha tried to heal, but this time we got some high rolls and 2-shot the Gengar with more Thunderbolts. Fourth was King Lance with his Dragon types. Or Flying types? Cardinal did quick work with the Gyarados with a 4 times super effective Stab Thunderbolt. Then came Dragonair. We first set up a light screen so that Outrage won't be a big deal to us. After that, I sent in Eminence who can never be crit at all. So with Ice Beam by my side, Dragonair 1, dead. Third was Aerodactyl, but Ancient Power wasn't a huge deal for our super physically tanky Eminence. So we brought them to the red, then they healed, and we absorbed a Hyper Beam this time, and Aerodactyl dead. Dragonair 2, dead. Dragonite, dead. Last and definitely not the least was our rival, Violet. And this was the hardest of all the battles that we had. Probably. I'm the most powerful trainer in the world! Leading with Eminence against Pidgeot, we used the Ice Beam, which brought them to a sliver of their health. This got Violet to waste a full restore, and 2 more Ice Beams were enough for the kill. Rhydon was next, and why would you send in a slower ground and rock type against a water type? Of course it's dead. Third was Exeggutor, so of course I switched to Burgundy for the Giga Drain. We hit them with Flamethrower, bringing them to a fourth of their health, and they missed their Sleep Powder. But we had a Chesto Berry anyway, so it was fine all along. We took down the Executor with another flamethrower, so next came his ace, Blastoise. We switched to Rosewood and absorbed 2 Hydro Pumps before bringing them to above half health with Petal Dance plus their Citrus Berry recovery. Smartly enough, Violet switched to Arcanine for the second Petal Dance, and luckily for us, Petal Dance ended on that turn, otherwise we're doomed. This got me to switch into Heliotrope, who took a lot of damage from Flamethrower. In hindsight, I probably should have just sacked Rosewood back there. So now we had to risk a crit on another Flamethrower, which we did, but Earthquake wasn't enough for the kill. Now, I was confident that Violet was gonna heal, so I called for another Earthquake, which crit, so I'll take that as a win. Now he sent in his Alakazam, and instead of taking the safe move of sacking Heliotrope, I went reckless and immediately switched to Burgundy, who received so much damage with Psychic. So I had to risk another crit as Burgundy was left with 23 HP before killing the Alakazam with a single Shadow Ball. And now, Violet was down to his final Pokemon, Blastoise. I switched back to Rosewood, who easily absorbed the Hydro Pump, but next turn they used Rain Dance and we got a low roll and Petal Dance, just enough for them to survive. Violet used what I think was his last full restore as Rosewood brought them to just below half health. But this time, there was nothing I could do but to leave Rosewood in the field as rain-boosted Hydro Pump was too much for him. This allowed me to send in my revenge killer, Cardinal, who, with a single Thunderbolt, zapped the Blastoise to his death, winning us the battle and the run. And with that, we finally beat Pokemon FireRed using a team of Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. Comment down below which Nuzlocke run you want me to do next. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more fun content. Also, follow me on Twitter @Starmeistr and join our Pichu Bros Discord server. With everything said and done, enjoy your time hammering away Pokemon champions and become the most powerful trainer in the world! Thanks for watching and gotta catch ya later!